All right, let's talk about our biggest cities. We see the postcard pictures all the time, right? But in this explainer, we're going to look past the famous landmarks and focus on the one thing that defines them, sustains them, and sometimes threatens to wash them away: their water.
I mean, take London. When you picture it, this is probably what pops into your head. Big Ben. It's one of the most recognizable buildings on the entire planet, a symbol of permanence and time itself.
You know, it was finished way back in 1859. Its official name is actually the Elizabeth Tower. And for more than 160 years, it stood right there on the banks of the River Thames, its chimes marking the hours for a city that never stops changing. But here's the thing. We always look up at the clock, don't we? What happens if we look down? Down at the river flowing right at its base, because that is where the really wild story is. A story of total collapse and an almost unbelievable rebirth. See, this isn't just any old river. The Thames has this dramatic, almost secret history that most people have no idea about. And honestly, it holds a pretty powerful lesson for all of us today. Okay. Just look at this contrast. When Big Ben first started chiming, the Thames was this busy, bustling waterway. But not even 100 years later, in 1957, scientists officially declared it biologically dead. And yet today, well, something amazing has happened. And let's be super clear about what biologically dead actually means. It's not just, a bit dirty. It means the water was so toxic, so choked with pollution and raw sewage that it had no oxygen left. Absolutely nothing could live in it. No fish, no insects, no plants. Nothing. Which makes this turnaround absolutely incredible. The river went from being a lifeless, foul soup to a vibrant habitat that's now home to seals, tiny seahorses, and, get this, even several species of shark. It's got to be one of the greatest environmental recovery stories anywhere in the world. Just think about that for a second. We're not talking about one shark species, but three. Taupe, starry smoothhound, and spur dog sharks have all been found in the Thames estuary. And you've got harbor seals popping up, plus eels and seahorses hanging out. It is a completely different world from 1957. And the numbers are just staggering. A recent survey found 115 different species of fish living in the river. 115. That's up from a grand total of 0. It's an amazing testament to decades of hard work. But, and there's always a but, isn't there? This incredible comeback story isn't a sure thing. The river is now facing a whole new set of threats, modern problems that could undo all of that amazing progress. The fight is definitely not over. So who are the new villains in this story? Well, it's two big ones we're all familiar with: climate change and pollution. The climate is making the river warmer, and old sewage systems are still dumping harmful nitrates into the water, putting all that new life at risk. And this isn't some abstract, far-off idea. The river's temperature is actually rising by about 0.2 degrees Celsius every single year. Now, that might not sound like much to us, but for fish and other marine life, it can be totally devastating. But London is fighting back. To deal with the sewage problem, they're finishing up this absolutely enormous engineering project called the Thames Tideway Tunnel. It's basically a gigantic super sewer that runs for 24 kilometers right under the city. And the scale of this thing is just mind-boggling. When it goes online in 2025, it's designed to stop 39 million tons of raw sewage from pouring into the river every single year. It's a massive bet on securing the Thames' future. So, okay, that's the story of a slow-moving crisis and a slow, difficult solution. But our relationship with water isn't always a slow burn. Sometimes the crisis hits all at once, and in a place you would never, ever expect. So let's jump across the world to Dubai, a city known for its ambition, for its crazy skyline, for literally building an oasis in the desert, a city that is all about controlling its environment. Now, these numbers are hard to even wrap your head around. The average rainfall for Dubai for an entire year is just under 4 inches. But on one single day this year, the city got slammed with almost 5.5 inches of rain. Yeah, let that sink in. A year and a half's worth of rain falling in just 24 hours. On a city built on sand, a city whose infrastructure is designed for heat and dryness, not for massive drainage. The result was total chaos. Dubai International Airport, one of the busiest hubs on Earth, had planes trying to navigate flooded runways.
The city's famous, futuristic metro stations had water pouring into them. Even the super luxe malls were swamped.
And this is the central irony, isn't it? Dubai, this glittering monument to human engineering and our ability to tame nature, was brought to a complete and total standstill by a rainstorm. So here we are, two very different cities, London and Dubai. Two very different stories about water. But when you really look at them, you realize they're both facing the exact same fundamental challenge, trying to navigate our very fragile balance with water. And this shows that the challenge can come in totally different forms. In London, it's the slow, generational fight against the pollution of the past. In Dubai, it's a sudden, shocking crisis that comes out of nowhere. A slow burn versus a flash flood. And what all this really tells us is that no city gets a pass. It doesn't matter if it's an ancient capital or a hyper-modern metropolis. Our relationship with water, the water that flows through our cities, under them, and falls on top of them, has never been more important or more dangerous. Which really leaves us with this one big question. As our world keeps changing, what's the real story of our great cities going to be? Will they be defined by their resilience, by their ability to learn and adapt like London is trying to do? Or will they be defined by their vulnerability, by sudden moments that show us the limits of our control? That's the question these two tales of water really leave us with.